time, I'd like to bring up our director, Josh Goldin, our producer, Glenn Williamson, and Matthew Broderick.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. Or thoughts?
I have a question for you, Josh.
Fire away, Glenn.
Where did the idea of this movie or character come from?
I think there's always been a legacy of negativity in my family. It started there when I helped take care of my grandmother and she lived till she was 99, and I would bring her to the doctor. One time I brought her and the doctor said, "Oh my God, you look so young for your age." And she said, "Yeah, it's been a terrible century." So I think it started from there, and then I also think that if you're just to have gone through this last, the Bush era, I think it's very hard not to have that voice in the back of your head that's sort of spouting negativity. And it was interesting to have a character that was all that voice.
There's a question.
Why Senegal? And how did you get to tie Senegal?
Senegal, it really came, that's one of the few things that came sort of directly from my life. I knew a guy who I worked with at a very small insurance company, probably my first job, who was from Senegal. And he had left Senegal when he was a little boy, so all his memories were sort of refracted through childhood. And he'd actually told me that in Senegal fish fall from the sky. So I based the character on him, and then everything else following there.
There's a question in the back. Yep.
I have a question for Mr. Broderick. I was just wondering, what did you think when you first read the role, and what was it like for you to play this role? It was something very different, I thought, to find you. It was one performance that I liked.
Thank you. Well, Josh and I have been friends for a long time, 20 years or so.
Yeah.
Or more, maybe?
At least 20,
less.
yeah.
And
we're 25.
So you know, it's always nerve-wracking reading a script by a friend, but I always liked his writing anyway. I already was kind of aware of it, and then finally he wrote something that I was suitable for, and I just read it and I thought it was beautiful, and very much like Josh, his humor and his awful sensibility, and just joking. We played a lot of racquetball together. He's vicious on the court and in the director's chair. I just wanted to work with him, and then also really thought it was a very, you know, the character was very full. Like it takes its time and it's very explicit, and I just was very happy that he wanted me to do it, and then that we, you know, got Glenn and got it made. Or maybe you before me, I don't know, but...
Oh, no, I mean, it really started with you because Josh, you really wrote it with Matthew. It's your vision, correct?
I wrote it, well, yeah, in a complicated sort of way. I read it knowing Matthew would be great, and so, yeah, he was sort of in mind from the beginning.
I don't know if I answered the question. I don't really know if that was the question. I was very happy to have the part. You don't often find them like that. Anybody else?
It's in the front row.
Hi. I just thought it was really intriguing how it sort of had a dismal setting to the film and even the negativity, but yet I don't know, it was almost an upbeat kind of undercurrent. And I was wondering how you guys pull that off. I mean, did you write specifically to that and describe it when you were acting it? Were you trying to kind of be positive under the veneer of negativity, or how did you do it?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, in every negative person beats him, you know, there's an optimist in there, a disappointed optimist. Somebody said that better than me. But they are sides of the same coin. You know, he's a very disappointed person when we meet him. You know, things have clearly not gone well with his marriage, and he's having such a hard time with his daughter, and just everything is going wrong. But I don't think he's deeply negative at all. I think he actually is a very hopeful person. He's just that it hasn't worked out the way he wanted it to. But I think deep down it's a hopeful movie, I think, and in some ways it's about how nice it is to be alive. You know, I think you know, when Ibu speaks about being in a coma and how happy he is just to hear a dog bark or a car alarm, you kind of believe it. You know, it is a blessing to hear those things, even though usually you scream at your neighbor to shut it off. But it is nice to have it. I think that the movie tells that story very well.
There was a line that we cut out that in which the man actually says, "Behind every cynic is a disappointed idealist."
Right, that's what it is.
And yeah, I think that's well, I think we cut out because it was maybe too overt. But I think in the writing, especially, there was always the thought that there were these rays of light in his life from the very beginning. I mean, you see that he loves his daughter, and you see that she loves him, even though and that's what makes it painful that they're not connecting. We see clearly that he loves music. There's a lot of things that he loves in life, and I think what you're seeing when you're seeing the sort of optimism undercurrent is that it's there in him, you know, and you're sort of hoping that it'll be pulled out.